On Saturday, the 22nd of June, we visited the London to Brighton to Geneva EV rally. We had a look at the exhibits and displays on Madeira Drive in Brighton. Here is a quick look at what is to come in the next few episodes.
This car's actually a total loss. It's been written off by the insurance company. The reason we bought it is just to let people see how much impact a car can have without having any effect on the battery at all. So this car drives, believe it or not, works absolutely fine. It was offline for about 9 months. We put it back online like 2 days ago, and the car is absolutely fine, taking a charge, no problems at all. There's a misunderstanding that batteries are very delicate, and they're not.
I've worked quite a lot of brands over the last few years, and that's with combustion before EVs came out. Find that there's no snobbery with EVs in EV world. BYD's been around for a couple of years, but everyone's flocking to try them. Everyone wants to know what the new kid on the block is as such, and what gadgets they've got, what's the new technology that's out with these cars, what's so special about these cars.
So this weighs about 615 kilogram. If you want to adjust the mirrors, it's just open the window and poke them. So there's no servo motors to do all those things. There's no assistance in terms of the brake, but it doesn't need it. You know, it's like Colin Chapman said, well, simplicity and just add lightness. You just don't need any assistance with it.
What I particularly like about events like this is the huge range of vehicles. You've got the standards, you've got the Leafs, you've got the Teslas. There's a whole range of the new BYD models. There's the big yellow bus, which is fun, and also the big Volta truck. Interested to see what sort of efficiency that thing's getting. And of course, we are. Thank you, well done.
But first, we spoke to rally director and group member Harrison Hughes about the history of the event.
It's our 4th year now, and this is obviously the biggest year yet. I mean, we're going right from the front end of Madeira Drive all the way down to the end, filled with different stands and exhibitors, test drives, bikes, scooters, everything you can imagine. We've got it down here. Originally started in 2020 when 2 friends, Bill and Tom, who run the electric bus company in Brighton, the Big Lemon, wanted to test their new buses. And Bill had the idea to bring down some extra vehicles to join the rally, and it's kind of spanned on from this point, with hundreds of vehicles taking part, going from London to Brighton, Brighton to Paris, Brighton to Paris to Geneva. And what an incredible experience that is.
How many entrants do you actually have in the rally this year?
So this year we had 120. That's a mix of self-builds, your normal cars, lots of our sponsored cars such as BYD. They've had the Seals, the Dolphins, the Attos in the rally, vans, scooters, bikes. We've got a mix of everything.
What was the intention of creating the rally?
We launched the rally just before the 2030 ban, when electric vehicles were starting to get popular around that sort of time, and it was all about to demonstrate electric vehicles are suitable for your everyday needs. And people say, well, why do we go from London to Brighton? That's only 59 miles. That's surely an electric vehicle should be able to do that. Well, yeah, of course, especially in today's standards. But we're all about showcasing energy efficiency. So out of all the vehicles that we have here today, we want to talk about which vehicles use the least amount of energy.
You get prizes for the people who get the most efficient cars?
Yes, we have a great day of everyone test driving cars. We wave all our entrants over the finish line, and then we have a big award ceremony down on Brighton Beach at 4 p.m. When we've got a big party hosted by Quintin Wilson and Alison Ferns, sponsored by 3TI, and that's where we're working out who's used the least amount of energy, and we've got some awards down there.
In terms of the publicity for this event, how are you getting the message out?
We're partnered with Current PR, a great PR agency that specialises in renewable energy and electric vehicles. They're based in Brighton. We've got connections with the Argus, BBC, Alison Ferns from BBC Radio Sussex hosts everyone that comes over the finish line.
How long does it actually take you to get from London to Brighton to Geneva? Is it a multi-day process?
So it is quite a trek. I mean, this year we've split the company in 2. So Tom Druitt, who used to be the founder of the London to Brighton Rally, is set up EV Rally Club, who is looking after the international stage, because myself and my colleague Bill wanted to perfect Brighton. Yeah. But it is a multi-stage process. So London to Brighton's all done in a Saturday, which is great, everyone can come. And then the London to Brighton to Paris to Geneva is obviously much more spread out over a few days. So that's more for the hardcore EV drivers that have got a few days to take off.
The most interesting things you see, what are you most excited to see when you come down here?
When I see this is the first time me looking down the seafront and seeing everybody enjoying themselves, cars crossing the finish line, test drives, people that have never driven an electric vehicle jumping in a BYD and taking it out. That is what's important, and that is why I do this event, because from day one the mission was to show electric vehicles are the future and that they do work for the everyday person, and every single person along here on Brighton Beach has probably never driven an electric vehicle, and they can go and try one today for free. They don't have to trek out their way, they stumble across it on Brighton seafront.
Are there any of the companies actually help sponsor the event?
This event is so reliant on sponsors. So we've had EDF Energy, who has sponsored us from day one. Without their support, we wouldn't be here today. BYD, this is their second year sponsoring us. 3TI Energy Hubs, who make the amazing solar car park. JLC EV, Rolex, there's so many different sponsors that get involved, and without them it wouldn't be possible.
And plans for the event going forwards? Are you going further than Geneva, or is it a bigger event?
Tonight at our after party we might give a small hint on what we're doing next year.
Okay.
From my side, of course, we'll be at London to Brighton, but we might be extending a little bit that way on to maybe the beach. I would just love to thank all our sponsors and, more importantly, our entrants that come along every single year. I've seen so many faces that cross the finish line today that have been there since year one, and so many new faces, and that's such a great feeling that people still want to come, and that new EV drivers still want to come to the event. So thank you very much, guys, and of course the Sussex EVs for bringing down, you know, the amazing crew. I was just chatting to Margaret earlier, and haven't caught up with her for years, so it was nice to see her.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Cheers.